and welcome to the show. We once again have a very special guest and interview, so without delay, let's bring out today's guest. The man behind the mic, behind the lady with the mic, it's the fantastic Cliffy. How are you?
Hello, I'm good. How are you doing?
Yep, we are great. Bob's obviously causing me lots of trouble, but we nothing new there, as I'm sure you've seen. So, what have you been up to?
Oh, just trying to stay warm. Got a lot of snow here, and it's pretty cold outside. So hopefully that's going to change this weekend. So
Excellent. And just for anyone who doesn't know, Cliff is actually in Canada. Is that right?
yeah, I live in BC, so in the west of Canada.
That's British Columbia, is that?
Yeah.
So you've been seen an awful lot on AMG streams, obviously as the right-hand man, the man who reads out the chat. So if it's not too much to ask, if you could do us the honour, please can I ask you to read out who's in chat today?
Sure. Let me say hi to everyone. Hey, Bob, how's it going? Howdy, Bob. Bob, good to see you. Hey, look who's here. It's Bob. Hey. Look, we have Bob. And we also have Bob.
Thank you so much for that. We do have a great following of Bob's. How did all this come about?
Well, basically, it started from Flat Earth, like a lot of people. I met a guy named Robert in the Flat Earth community, and he was friends with AMG. So eventually, I became friends with her too. And in February of 2020, I started appearing on her streams, and I was her co-host by probably a couple months later. So
how long were you doing the flat Earth thing?
I was in the flat Earth debunking community for probably 2 years. So,
Okay. And what drove you away from that?
Flat Earth was dying. A lot of the creators are getting out of it. It's just not as rich and varied a scene as it used to be, so to speak. So basically, just a lot of people started jumping ships, going over to the Sovsits and frauditors.
The flat Earth thing obviously dying out. So where does that put you then?
Yeah, Robert was in the flat Earth debunking scene, and basically, I became friends with him, and then through that met Marvel, and um, it was a lot of fun in the early days. We used to, I used to be on Discord morning, noon, and night back in the early days, talking to the people in the flat Earth debunking community. So it was a lot of fun.
That sounds good. Were you around when Radical was doing the flat Earth as well?
Yes, I was. I met Radical probably around the same time I met Marvel. We used to do chats on Discord, and Radical was a part of them. And I started talking to him, and a couple times it was just me and him. So we ended up talking just me and him for hours at a time. So I got to know him pretty well.
Is that where your mutual love of gaming came from as well?
Yeah, we both like to play games, and we've discovered that, and so we were, playing them with Marvel, torturing her with games like Devour, and yeah.
There are some wonderful streams out there. I'll try and find some links to put into the descriptions so that we can torture a little bit more with in jest, of course, because they are a lot of fun to watch. And you surprised me a lot. You do very, very well for a non-pro gamer.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I managed to beat Radical the last time we played a couple times, so I was proud of that.
No, you should be. And have you got more game stuff lined up? Do you know?
Not at the moment, but we kind of fly by the seat of our pants on that one. So we'll probably say to each other, "Hey, you want a game this weekend?" And the next weekend or the one after that, maybe the one after that or the one after that, we'll get together and we'll play some games.
Fantastic. So, tell us a little bit about your upbringing there, Cliff. What was it like living in Canada? Just for some of us Europeans who have no idea what that might be. I guess it's similar.
I would imagine so. No, I've never been to mainland Europe. I've been to England, so I can compare it to that. Things are a little different, you know. We don't have washing machines in our kitchens, and but you know, I basically the first 3.5 years of my life were spent on a farm. My dad was a farmer, and basically he got sick and couldn't farm anymore, so he ended up selling the farm, and we bought a place in the suburbs, and I ended up growing up there. You know, it was a nice house. I had a pool growing up, so that was nice. That would always make you a little more popular with the neighborhood kids.
Of
If you,
course, yeah. How to
but
win friends and influence people, of course.
yeah, my dad wasn't very religious. My mom was and still is, um, but she's a very kind woman. And yeah, I'd say basically I had a pretty good upbringing until I was 16, and unfortunately, my sister passed away. And
Oh, sorry.
yeah, and then when I was 21, my dad passed away. So I've still got my mom and my brother. So there was five of us originally.
Yeah.
So, and my brother lives up in the coast. He lives kind of in the middle of nowhere, to be perfectly frank. Um, it's a 17-hour journey or 16 hours or something like that to get there by car. So yeah.
Wow, that's up and down England twice, isn't it? You
Yeah,
know.
and he lives in the same province. My upbringing was pretty good. I got to go to Australia with my dad when I was 13, and we flew first class because back then my dad had quite a bit of money left over from the farm and stuff like that. Um, so that was a lot of fun. Um, Went to Disneyland when I was 12, and you know, there was definitely some good times in there with, unfortunately, some bad times.
And I think they'd be proud to see that you're doing so much with your time and making something of it. You know, so that's something to be proud of, I think.
Well, yeah, the whole YouTube thing is really helped me a lot. Got me out of my shell. It gives me something to do, something to look forward to. Because life can get kind of boring sometimes, and so it's
Yeah.
it's the spice of life. I do volunteering right now. I'm volunteering with the community action team. It's basically they're trying to find out ways to stop the overdose crisis.
Oh, wow. That's
So
incredible. Yeah, that's and you're volunteering. What does that involve? Just in case anyone else wishes to do so as well. And we'll put
yeah,
some links in the description to help anyone out in the area.
yeah. Basically, I attend meetings, and I had one on Monday. It was just a Zoom meeting, but we also have in-person meetings, and we discuss ways of helping with stigma and barriers to safe supplies, stuff like that. So it's just basically a think tank, and because I have lived experience with addiction, um, basically they I am considered a peer, and they
Hmm.
want people with lived experience to influence them so they can approach things the best way possible.
That's brilliant. That really is brilliant, and it makes so much sense to use somebody like yourself who has that experience. Because I wouldn't know what to say. None of the Bobs on. Well, we probably have a psych Bob somewhere who'd be able to do something. But personally, I wouldn't know what to say about that. So well done you. And I guess you really get a good sense of well-being when you're able to help people that way.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Because I was once like them, and so it helped you to help others. Basically, it's a selfish thing in a way, because you get so much out of helping others.
And I kind of like guess with what you're doing, it's actually quite therapeutic for both sides.
Definitely, yeah.
Absolutely fantastic piece of work. Anyone who does volunteering gets our vote. Let's move on to now. Obviously, I get handed cards from Bob's, and none of them make sense. This one made very little sense. I was informed that you wanted and anyone who comes on gets the opportunity to have their own Bob. And I was informed that you wanted a big red dog. Is this true?
Well, that used to be my nickname, and certainly in elementary school, I got called that a lot. So I decided to embrace it, and big red dog, big red Bob.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously there are animals in the land of Bobble, and you may have seen Farmer Bob trying to round up his teleporting sheep, which I think is an ongoing job for him, poor chap. Big red dog, your nickname. We did find one. We had to investigate actually to find out what happened to the big red dog, and we'll show you why. Here is your big red dog. Good evening, I'm Miles Wilkins, and in tonight's episode of The Big One, we look back at the notorious ice hockey team, the Goon Squad, and their controversial time as Bobble's national team. The undisputed champions rose to glory as only team to have 5 Bob squad and no goaltender. Named the Goon Squad, Basher, Smasher, Punisher, Brutal, and Punchy. Won all the matches by injuring the opposition into submission, sometimes only scoring once to secure a victory. However, in '92, the Bobble Hockey Association rules changed. It meant that the Goons would not be tolerated on the ice, and the squad was banned. Anderson was said to be perplexed by the decision, saying the BHA are like a bunch of Chinooks to the ice, eh? Anderson went on to state they have a skookum plan and were back after a quick double-double. The team refused to comment. Anderson brought in a goaltender who would change the game yet again. The goaltender, named Big Red, was bigger than the goal and stood a immeasurable 4.8 meters tall. No puck could get close to the goal mouth, and the Goon Squad started playing and not fighting. They rose again to be national champions. But it didn't end there. More controversy surrounded the squad when it was noted Big Red was never at any team's after-match pitches, often leaving to squat in a field straight after the game. Then, on February the 9th, a video emerged, supposedly taken by team boss Anderson. It shows Big Red without any pads, and is clearly a bobble dog, not a hockey bob. The BHA was quick to impose a strict ban, and the team were never seen again. The Goon Squad went their separate ways. Rumors emerged of sightings of team members working in gas stations and McBubbles. As for Big Red, he is said to be doing well and working for a construction company, digging holes. I've been Miles Wilkins. Join us next time for The Big One, when we'll be uncovering more big stories from the Bubbleverse.
I love it. Yeah, that's great. It looks like their hockey team was influenced by the 1975 Philadelphia Flyers or something.
I wouldn't know. Bob does all that for me.
Yeah, they were goons.
I'm pleased you really like it. I understood that you're a big hockey fan, and we wanted to incorporate that. That is your dog now. That is your Bobble dog. They may show up in other episodes, but he is yours to do with what you will.
Awesome, thank you.
And the hockey thing. Now, I understand, and I might be wrong here, that you actually are a big fan of is it the Vancouver Canucks?
Vancouver Canucks, yeah.
See, I knew I was going to mess it up somehow. So are they like a local team?
Yeah, where I live is about an hour east of Vancouver, so I'm pretty close.
Excellent. And you seen them live?
Oh yeah, I've been to quite a few games, but I haven't been since 2010, so it's been a while. But
yeah, that's. But you're still following them, still watching them, and
yep. Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Okay, well, who would be your favorite hockey player at the moment in the current team?
Oh, probably Elias Pettersson, center, I believe. Yeah.
And what about all time for the team? What would be all time great?
say probably Kirk McLean. He was the goaltender back during the '94 Cup run.
That was the Stanley Cup, wasn't it?
Yes, yes,
They did really well that year, or that
yes,
season, I should say.
yes.
Fantastic.
I like Trevor Linden.
Was that something that you'd watched live, or was that just a TV thing, or?
No, I never went to see them until '97. So I didn't see them during their Stanley Cup final run. So I just watched it on TV.
If you're going to watch any hockey, I would say watch Canadian hockey. I've seen a fair bit on the Winter Olympics. The Olympic team is incredibly good, so I imagine the actual squads that are around Canada is well worth watching.
Well, maybe not the Oilers, but
Are they the rivals at the moment? Are they?
the two Alberta teams, Calgary and Edmonton, the Oilers and the Flames, they're pretty much our main rivals. Yeah.
So they're the ones that everyone's jeering at, are they, from the other side of the hockey site?
Yeah. Unlike in England, though, we don't separate our home and away fans. So
okay,
we get along enough that we usually don't get into fights. So
that's obviously the stereotypical Canadian way, isn't it? That everyone's friendly and gets on. What's that like in real life?
there's assholes here, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
But I guess overall we're a little more polite.
I think there's going to be, as you say, arseholes anywhere in the world, which kind of puts us quite nicely into the stuff that we see you involved in, and obviously have been in the past with things like the Flat Earth and the sovereign citizens. What do you make of those?
Well, the flat Earth is ridiculous because all you got to do is say, okay, if the Earth is flat, where does the sun go at night? And they can't give you a good answer for that. So you can just debunk it with that one question. Like you had in your video, with the planet that's constantly falling and the guy going, "Whoa!" That's what it would have to be like, pretty much. You'd have to have a planet constantly accelerating or moving at a certain speed to create the gravitational effect. And it's just not plausible. So, and the sovereign citizen frauditors, I mean, they all have a script. The sovereign citizens will say, "I'm not driving, I'm traveling," stuff like that. The frauditors will say, "I don't answer questions," and if I'm free to go, I'm free to stay.
Mm-hmm.
So they're pretty much all the same to me.
Do you see similarities in what flat earthers might have said and what sovereign citizens try to say in their script?
Definitely, there are similarities. There are flat Earth sovereign citizens as well. Like, for example, Mac Parhar, who people know as Flat Earth Fokker.
Mm-hmm.
He ended up being a denier too, and ended up dying of, well, let's just say he died of something he denied. We don't know for sure, but he lived pretty near me, actually.
Well, I think Bob's got a space sub lined up. Now, this is going to be a 50-50 guess as to which one we get. So, being our guest, you can have number 1 or number 2.
Let's go with good old number 2.
So we're all down here to check out this new security system for the post office. I command one to test it before it goes into mass production. Should be good though. I've heard it's pretty good against frauditors.
Do we know what it does? Sounds good already.
We've all been given videos, we just need to press play.
From F12 Electronics. Egghead. Super enhanced motion tracking Avavo laser. Ultra sensitive full frequency sound locator. All terrain multi-directional motion. Egghead, because your electronics should know when to fight back.
Let's see what it does then.
Halt. If you want to pass by B, you must answer questions 3.
Okay,
What is your name?
I'm Captain from the Space Hub MG. This is my crew.
What is your reason for being here?
Well, we're actually here to monitor you, to be fair.
Why do you need the post office?
Well, we thought we'd post some letters to family while we're here.
Compliance. You shall pass.
Well, out the way then. Not very sure this bridge is safe. Take it easy. A bit tricky. A long way down. Not very safe. Still steady enough. How long are you lot?
It's a great new idea. I really like this bridge. Yes, very good idea. I like it too.
This could be good. Sounds like a frauditor's going.
I'm going to the post office. Know everyone there. So I can get clicks and likes. So that I... Halt. Oh, hello. If you want to pass by B, you must answer questions 3. I don't consent. What is your name? I don't give you my name. Comply. What's your name? Comply. And no good. Compliance. Failed to comply. Area secure.
Very good. That should keep High Command happy for a while.
Let's hope that F-12 electronics aren't part of Skynet.
What now?
What is your name?
That's good.
I'm pleased you enjoyed that.
Now, if it was Glenn Serio, the pile would be much bigger, of course.
Of course. I'd need a lot more room on the screen for that one. Do you think Glenn's probably your least favourite of those frauditors?
Oh, there's so many to choose from. I'd say the most obnoxious is not Glenn, it's Annapolis Audits. He's the guy that dressed up as a taco and did an audit.
Yeah, obnoxious is the right word. They started off just being annoying. Now they're actually being quite obnoxious, like you say, and just blatantly rude just to get a reaction.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, we've had an absolutely fantastic time, and I hope you have too. It's been great getting to know more about you, the man behind the mic, as I called it earlier, and the assistant to AMG. But more than that, the man himself, Cliff. Thank you so much for being here.
No worries. Thank you for having me.
And hopefully people can get that link. You say it was the Community Action Team. Is that local to Canada?
Yeah, there's ones all over the province here. So
I think that's a good idea. I think we can get the link out, and obviously there may be somebody watching this in the future even who might be able to benefit from that in one way or another. So that's a really positive thing and really appreciate it. Thank you. Oh, what a fantastic guest. Remember, you can also be on the show to discuss any hobby, interest, band, charity, society, club, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, or anything else you want to promote. Just email us at thegrahamandbobshow@gmail.com, and maybe we'll be interviewing you next week.
Bye.